Hey CDA, and welcome back to Patron. Once again, we are continuing this series, and well, we expanded our base quite a bit so far, and we definitely want to do so, increase it even further. One of the nice things we can build is the candle shop. Remember, we got the apiary, if that is how you pronounce it, actually. I think it is. Seems to make sense. In the last episode, it's producing a huge amount of wax. And I'm assuming this actually will make need use the wax in order to make candles, so why not? We can actually increase the taxation on peasants and laborers. That's going to be interesting as well, but that's going to be the next step after that, probably. Now, while it's researching, we are doing pretty well on herbs, so no reason to improve that. I do want to slightly increase the amount of food production that we have. I keep clicking those depots. Jeeps. We might as well increase the people in our APR as well. I mean, remember, they're producing honey as well, so that's good. And let's expand the gatherer shelter a little bit as well. Now, while we're at that, why not also increase the amount of people in our mushroom farm? I think it's worth kind of hedging the amount, the different types of food that you're producing. It seems to also help with the happiness when it comes to food. So yeah, that is a thing we can do. Now, let's go and research this. It's going to be interesting, actually, because this will probably reduce the happiness a little bit. But plus 15% taxes is actually quite significant. But meanwhile, let's build a candle shop. Now, where is that? Candle shop, candle shop, candle shop. Candle shop. So, any particular bonuses that we have from having this candle shop? Just checking. Market radius. Market's going to be really interesting, actually. We can increase taxation on other people as well. Might as well research that while we're at it. We don't research anything else at the moment. Now, it might make sense to keep this somewhat close-ish to where we currently are, although not necessarily, to be honest, because, well, simply put, the transportation of goods between different stockpiles is instant anyway, so there's not really any particular reason to be difficult about that specifically. How are we on production, actually? I mean, honestly, we could scale up a lot of our production quite a bit if we would want to. We are producing some stuff really fast now. How is the decorations selling, actually? Where are the decorations in our overview? Decorations, decorations. Decorations, hello? Okay, are we just using all of those, or what? I mean, we're producing them. Okay, so we have some decorations now. Let's pause for a moment. Just want to make sure we can actually find them in here. I'm not entirely sure why that is. So we can actually stop this now. Are decorations not what I think they are, or what? This is a little confusing to me, honestly. But meanwhile, we are actually going to do this a little different, I think. So what are we going to sell here? How are we doing on stuff? We can actually start selling some stone again. And we are producing those that in large amounts. So let's make sure that we sell everything above 200. No, that's not selling. This is. That will automate that. We are still selling leather as well as clay. We can probably change this to something else as well. Let's make sure we are selling furniture in case we don't need it anymore, and anything above 200 should be fine. Okay, there we go. So, what else? We are currently now... Did I pause the game? Yes, I paused the game. So we can apply 2 people to the candle shop. Let's make sure we increase production while decreasing the upkeep. That's always a really good idea. So it's actually a really expensive thing, but we are producing a huge amount of candles now. So let's make sure we sell those candles as well. I mean, we're selling leather, but that's not all that interesting, honestly. So let's shift this to selling candles instead. Candles sell for a lot of money. Let's make sure we keep a stockpile of something like 100, but everything else you can sell. All right, so what else? We apparently are not getting enough resources here. Not entirely sure what the problem is. We might be running low on things like iron, maybe, which we can solve by simply applying one more person to this. That was actually the coal mine. That was not what I wanted to do. There we go. And the quarry should be fine with just 2 people. How is the clay production doing, actually? So this is producing 400. And we're actually not using all that much in the pottery workshop over here. So again, we should be fine. How many people do we have left? Well, we're actually down to 11 workers now. So I think we'll have to wait around a little bit for our population to grow, just to make sure we can manage that. And that will mean we have our younglings growing up pretty soon, I think. So we have quite a few workers coming in just a moment. Remember when I said we had to watch our food when we scale our population? Well, I actually forgot to also scale the firewood production along with it, so this is something we definitely need to go and fix, because we have just the one sawmill at the moment, and that's obviously not going to cut it. Haha, got it. Yeah. So where are we actually going to put this? I'm inclined to kind of put it close to here, because we might want to expand our wood production over here. Yeah, why not? Let's just put it down over here and then prioritize this. Not that it really matters, I think, considering we are currently not building anything else, but we definitely will need to prioritize this. How are we doing on jobs? Yeah, we're down to 11 workers. It's also complaining about the amount of workers that is actually free or not free. But yeah, this is the best we can do. Just deal with it. And we are going to have to make sure we survive the winter. Although the winter is just ended, so we should be fine getting some more firewood up and running. Crisis averted, and in order to make sure the crisis stays averted, we are going to make a little road over here, and then into here, and then down here. And that should allow us to build, get the actual lumber that we are going to be producing here to our sawmill. I actually upgraded the sawmill completely, and also made sure we put some people to work in the actual sawmill. Now this might be slight overkill, honestly, so I'm not entirely sure this is the optimal way to go. I might have expanded a little bit faster than you should necessarily do that, but yeah, we just have to go and work with that. I'm just going to put these to initial fertilizing maximum speed, and then just probably do something like this in order to get some wood cutting going. Now they're only at 81 and 111%. For some reason there's a 30% difference between these two. That probably has something to do with the fact that this one can reach some of the trees over there, but that should get us some pretty decent wood in a moment. Now, once again, we just need to wait for more people to either arrive or to come with our docks. So yeah, we just need to wait for that for a moment. So next up on the list is the market, and well, apparently it's the best way to kickstart the economy. And if we check out the building, we can actually see that it sells goods to the citizens around the market, and the more citizens live nearby, the more goods are sold, and the city gets a nice cut of the profit. So that's really good. The building is quite large though, so I actually think I'm just gonna go and yeah, I'm really inclined to kind of put it right over here. And that means we'll have to demolish these houses, but we can build new houses over here. So we need to replace 4 houses. And we should be able to do that just fine, I believe. Yep. So let's make sure we first replace the houses. We're actually low in inventory space, but apparently we're not selling enough stuff. That's something we definitely need to fix as well. However, there's a pretty easy solution to that, and that's just build a new warehouse. Now, where's the warehouse? Really? There it is. I was about to say, we can't have lost the warehouse now, can we? Where shall we build that? Probably, I don't know. Let's just put one over here, honestly. Should be fine. Hello? What are we going to do? Our garrison commander has reported strange movements. Some people are traveling. Okay, we can either get a buff to everything, or get some money and get a huge cut to pretty much everything. So, I'll take that. That actually means that we need to pause the game because we need more housing. But I like people to come and live in my town, so we might as well go for that. Now, if we're going to build the... let's see, so we're actually going to be needing some more. We put it over here. However, instead what we could do is actually build the market over here. We kind of have to maybe move some of the other houses, maybe? Actually, no, we have a huge amount of houses there, so it doesn't make sense to build them elsewhere. So let's just build it here. That means we need to replace 4 houses, and we actually need to probably buy 2 or build 2 more. So let's do all of that in a moment. Okay, there we go. We built some more houses. I actually forgot to insulate these. So we have all of those houses that we need for all these people, and we have, most importantly, also a market over here. So we're going to add 1 person. The more citizens live nearby, the more goods are sold, and the city budget gets a nice cut of the profit. So that's actually interesting. Now we can actually upgrade this as well. And then we get 450 coins. Apparently we are getting interrupted there. My lord, the king's advisors have sent a list of requests. No official reason has been noted, only a list. They want some tools, oats, and iron. That's it. Oh, I don't have any merchants or gentry, so let's just go with that. Okay, so we're actually making 263 profit per year, while only having an upkeep of 150. So this is just pure money production, which we can increase even further. So this actually went up to... it's about 100, so that seems to make sense in order to do that. So this is going to cost us 200, and then improve that by quite a bit. And now it's going to cost us 250. Yeah, seems worth it. We are now producing like 400-ish money per... well, gold, I should say per year. With pretty much no downside. Yeah, seems like a good deal to me. Now, we actually have a problem in terms of how much stock we have, and we are quite rapidly filling up the new warehouse that we built as well. So what I am actually interested in doing is not setting up another market. I want to set up another docks. Let's see, can we just place one of them down here? Let me make sure we actually have this the right way around. Let's align this with this one. There we go. Now, we just have a second dock in order to make sure we can sell twice as much stuff. And we are actually going to have to set up these trade deals a little bit better, I think. So what is it that we have huge quantities of? Herbs, fish, firewood, well, basically food stuff. A leather we have a ridiculous amount of, as well as wax and candles. So what are we selling over here? Let me check. We are selling candles. Apparently not as fast as we want to sell them. So let's shift this to something that's a little bit more valuable. At least leather is selling at a much higher amount. So let's keep a little stock of that and let's sell the rest. And we also need to make sure we have this going on. Let's increase the cargo capacity as well as the delivery time. And then we also need to set up some trade deals here. So what are we going to sell here? Maybe some clothing. Pottery. I don't think we had those over here, did we? Oh, we did have pottery. But we didn't have clothing. So let's make sure we have that. What else? Wax. We had a huge amount of wax as well. What else? What else? I'm actually not really sure what else we should be selling. I mean, right now we can probably sell off some herbs as well. They sell pretty decently, so that seems to make sense. We have some tobacco, clay, furniture, pottery, wax. Yeah. Clay, maybe. I don't know. We probably want to keep a little bit of store for clay. Let's make sure we're selling all of this. Now, we don't need 100 clothing for sure. We definitely don't need a lot of wax. And we do need quite a bit of this, so let's just keep this to at least 2500 just in case. But this should hopefully make sure we get rid of our excess inventory a little bit faster. A huge, well, I won't say problem, but a huge part of the reason that we have so much issue in terms of stock is that we have now a lot of firewood and food, which are basically only two things we need to make sure that we don't lose the game of, because what are you not getting that you need? So you need more wheat. Are we not producing wheat? I think we are, right? Right. Check, check, double check. This is probably just a timing issue because of the season of the year. Oh, I actually also added another oats field because these pigs as well as these sheep are eating up more oats than I was actually producing. We are now also getting wool and mutton, so that's going to be interesting in terms of next production, which brings me to the next thing. What else do we want to buy? So we could actually... Okay, so this actually allows us to produce brandy, so that should be interesting. And we can actually increase the effective radius of the market as well by 15%, so that's interesting. And we can actually also make sure people become more happy if they live near a market. So all of these things seem good to me, so let's make sure we take advantage of those. Okay, so our population is growing steadily, but we might be able to speed it up a little bit. I was actually looking up how immigration works, and it seems if you have empty houses, which we currently, well, we have one additional house, it might actually encourage immigrants to move into your space. So what I want to do is kind of I mean, we have the market over here, which is kind of filling this entire region, so we could either expand maybe out here. We are currently using this as another wood lumber type of area. We also don't want to build any houses here for the same reason, and again, for the same reason over here. So what I was thinking is we have a nice little open space over here, which we could kind of make our second town. I mean, it's part of the same town, of course, but kind of have like an urban area over here, and then another, maybe even quite a large urban / production area over here. We can have quite a lot of room to expand over here, and that should maybe do the trick. So what I'm actually going to do is set up a lot of empty houses in the market already up and running over here, and that people can just expand into as our population grows. And if you can tell through all the snow, this is kind of what that looks like when it's in the works. So right now I have 17 empty houses. Now, like I said, I'm not entirely sure how much it affects immigration, but at least it should have some effect, hopefully. And we also have a market over here. So right now it's only making a 15 gold profit with an upkeep of 150. So that's nowhere near where we want it to be because there's only a few people living here at the moment. But this will obviously scale up quite a bit. It's already completely upgraded. I'm just gonna leave it on because I don't want to have to babysit this. But you can imagine that even if just this little piece of housing actually starts working like we want it to, then we will already have quite a lot of money being made here, and we have a huge amount of room to put in new houses over here if we want to. So I want to keep this entire area specifically dedicated to housing and basically stuff that actually buffs housing. I put a warehouse in the middle just to make sure we can easily supply all of this, and there's a docks over here just to sell stuff and things like that. We might actually want to put in a fishery or two here at some point, but right now we're very much on top of our food situation, so there's not really any reason to do that just yet. Now, I'm actually having a little bit of trouble with problem with tools, so identifying the correct building is actually a challenge in this game every now and then. So let's expand this and double our production of tools. That should work, I think. We're only producing a little less than we're actually using, so that should be fine. It's actually the highest amount we can upgrade the toolsmith, so that's something to take into account in case we find out we need even more tools, but for now that will do. So once again, now we're very low on workers, but the next thing I kind of want to do is take advantage of orchids, and because right now we are now able to make brandy in the distillery, and if we research this we will actually get more production on orchids. But if we upgrade this, we will also be able to make cider, and once again we can research more orchid stuff in order to make cherries, peaches and grapevines. So all in all, that's going to lead to a whole lot of alcohol production as well as some new food production, and I think the variety once again is very nice. So yeah, but before we do that, actually, let's go into upgrading our town hall from a gathering hall to a town hall, because that will actually give us a lot more options, more trading options, and it will be interesting to see what that actually means in practice. So let's see what an upgraded town hall looks like, and we should get it any moment now. There we go, poof! We now have a better roof, apparently. I'm not entirely sure what it actually does. So let's see. Oh, we actually got some extra influence, which is really nice, because that means that we have an option to add more decrees. Because as you can see, all these decrees, other than the fact that they cost money, they actually also cost you influence. And we have currently 7 influence left, because we already activated 2 decrees. Honestly, this might be very much worth it. So 20% on the market. Let's do some math. Let's do some math. We have this market over here, so that's about 100 coins if we buff that by 20%. And then we have this one over here. That's apparently right now not doing anything. Wasn't this actually giving us something like 15 coins just a moment ago? Apparently people move it out. Okay. So, right now, that means that's not really an efficient choice for us to buff the market. What else do we have down here? Trade tax minus 15% might actually be worth it, considering how much we're selling. How much influence? Oh, that's a ton of influence, though. Immigration, that's really expensive, though. On the other hand, we can always take it off again, so we could go for that. Yeah, all of the other stuff here is not that interesting, honestly. We could buff the points we get from our people, considering, I think, let me see, we have a statistic here somewhere. Which one is it? There is oh, it's right over here. So we have, well, basically everyone we have is either a peasant or a laborer. Apparently we have 1 merchant. Speaking of merchants, I'm pretty sure this is not the actual merchant, just checking. We do have 2 people in our markets. So what we could actually do, and we can always just deactivate them again. So we're actually going to increase the immigration, and then we're trying to offset that by, I suppose, the tariffs on the peasants and laborers. Now let's see where that gets us. However, we will be seeing that in the next episode. For now, I think we've done enough. I mean, we've built markets, we've built candles, we are now exporting through 2 additional docks. We definitely increased the size of our little village over here by a whole village block over there, even though it's not entirely lived in just yet. And we upgraded our town. And in the next episode, I think we have quite a few other research items to do and expansions to do. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will catch you in the next one.